Cancer, welcome to Aries season, and this is Embodied Astrology. My name is Renee. This is a general reading for Cancer. You can listen for your sun, moon, rising, or any other Cancer placements that you may have. Everybody has Cancer in their chart. And if you know what house Cancer is in or what planets you have in that sign, you can listen through the lens of those awarenesses. This is a general reading, so please take what works and leave the rest. It is not a predictive reading. I am going to tune in with your energy body and felt sense. I'm going to talk about what I feel coming up for you in terms of thematic energetics and archetypes throughout the landscape of your life and offer you some somatic tools to work with. This is body, breath, and felt sense awareness to align you with your highest potentials and also to stay centered and connected to your strength during the challenges. All right, so Aries season is the beginning of the zodiacal new year, and it commences with the vernal equinox. So there is very much a feeling of new beginnings that Aries brings in. Aries energy is represented by the spark of a match that lights the fire, and that spark is a catalyzing, initiatory kind of energy that is really important for Cancer identified people. Cancer and Aries are two signs on what is called the cardinal cross. You are both signs that start things. Aries starts fiery kinds of things, and fire is life force itself. It has a lot to do with our individuality, the ways that we are all personalities. Everybody is a person, and even though we are all part of the same stuff in a really big way, we breathe the same air, we circulate water that has literally been here through every single life form and epoch on Earth. And we are actually really similar in so many ways, but also we're totally different. And every lifetime is unique. And Aries reminds us of that, while Cancer initiates our connections and our feeling bodies. And Cancer as an energetic archetype can sometimes be so focused on relationship and the sustenance of security and a sense of safety inside of relationships that it loses awareness sometimes of differentiation potential. Now, my friends, Cancers out there, you know what I'm talking about. And some of you, when you heard that, you were having an experience internally where you're like, it's not like that anymore, Renee. I've learned those lessons. I'm here, I'm bold, I'm me, I'm differentiated. I'm not enmeshed or entangled in the same ways that I used to be. And if you had that feeling, I want to give you a round of applause and say, bravo, brava, this is excellent. And so many of you are coming to this place through hard won and, really, I would say just long-term challenge and growth. And there's always another layer of work. And your work right now is really to bring this kind of work, differentiation, while maintaining awareness of relational need and accountability and the necessity of interdependence, right? We are our own individuals, but we're totally interdependent. We actually really need each other. We really need the air. We really need the water. We really need plants and animals. If we don't have each other, we can't survive. Cancers, you know that. And there's something about this period of time that is asking you to really step into some power that you have gained because of what you've been through, these hard-won, long fought for capacities and strengths that have helped you to differentiate, to feel your own boldness, to feel your own strength. Now is the time to really step into that in a relational way. So, before we get going further, I want to encourage you to just tune in with where Aries lives in the body. And for everybody, according to medical astrology, and I come to medical astrology through a somatic lens, so more of the felt sense embodiment, less of the prognosis. But for everybody, Aries is an energy that governs the head and the face, and particularly the front part of your brain and your eyes and the energy of your eyes. And the eyes are connected to your nervous system, and something happens in our eyes when we get really focused, particularly when we get focused in a heightened way around attraction or aversion. That means a sense of desire or a sense of threat. And particularly when we get focused in ways that are really concentrating on our individuality. And so this is the I feeling, the me, myself, and my feeling. And so when we're just in our story about something or in our egos or responding to desire or aversion or a sense of threat, a lot of times our eyes and focus can get really narrowed. Sometimes they can even start to feel more hard or aggressive in our actual eye sockets and faces. Some people will start to get a crease between their eyebrows as they focus and get really intent on whatever it is that they're focused on. And for all of us, this kind of focus and this kind of energy can really take us out of our bodies. And the feeling often is like being up in our head. And it's an Aries cliche to say people get hot-headed when Aries energy becomes excessive. And so we get up into our heads. We're really focused on our ego and protecting our egos. And that is sometimes really necessary and sometimes not. And so how we want to balance and pacify that energy is actually by taking cooling breaths, emphasizing the exhale, and bringing concentration and awareness to the places of Aries' opposite sign, Libra, which is in your lower back and kind of kidney area. So you can even bring your hands to the part of your back that's about the height of your belly button and take a full breath in. And as you breathe, try and widen and expand that part of your body. And then as you exhale, imagine that you're like underneath a waterfall or something, and your exhale breath is just cleansing your whole energy body, and your breath can release any excess residue or thinking or stress all the way down and into the earth. In Cancer, for you, you might also really benefit from nurturing and tending the parts of your body that Cancer rules. And this includes your stomach and your chest and breast area. And that inner body area really resonates with sensitivity awareness, with a sense of need. And it also really resonates with the experiences and the feelings of being safe or unsafe. And when we feel unsafe, we tend to grip and get really clenched, especially around our abdominal diaphragms and chest. We get very guarded in the front. And when we feel more safe and secure, these areas of our bodies tend to receive more breath and be more open. And especially over Aries season, but I'm going to say throughout the course of 2025 and into the next decade plus, because we have the outer planets, Neptune and Saturn, coming into Aries this year. Saturn will be there for 3 years, but Neptune will be there until 2038. And I talked a lot about this in your 2025 year ahead readings. So if you haven't listened to those yet, you can definitely check them out because there's tons of information there. This is important for you, Cancer. Aries, as your fellow cardinal sign, initiatory sign, rules a part of your chart that literally is about the space that you're growing into. Your legacies, your lineages, who you are as a person in this world, the work that you are here to do in terms of life purpose. That definitely includes your career and sense of vocation, but it includes so much more than that. It is really about how you show up in the world and what you show up for, who you show up for, how you represent yourself and embody and live into the truth of your own life, the truth of your own spirit. And you're the only one who can do that. Nobody else can do that for you. It is 100% up to you to be yourself in this life and to give your gifts in this life. And that means that it's also up to you to be able to state your needs, to know when enough is enough, to say no if it's not right for you, and be vulnerable and honest and take some risks sometimes, because we need to be able to do that if we're going to be able to live into our life purpose. We have to be visible if we're going to achieve our purpose. And visibility is a major theme for you right now. A lot of you are experiencing the need to put yourself out there in some way. And many of you have already put yourself out there and you are getting some kinds of attention. And the attention might feel new and different. It might feel activating. It could feel exciting. It could feel scary. It could feel like all of the above. And so, my friends, this is not going to go away over these next years, especially over the next 3 years. There is a concentrated emphasis on you rising to the task of your own life. You have to arrive for this. And I promise you that if you really show up with integrity, if you give it your best, and that includes working skillfully with the challenges, making sense of your own pain, right? Really, some of the biggest gifts are given to us when we work with skill and commitment around metabolizing what's hard and painful and not easy. When we can show up for that work, that's actually when a lot of the generosity opens. So my friends, show up for it and show up in ways that honor your inner body. Breathe into the safety that only you can give yourself. Feeling your heart, feeling your belly, reminding yourself that you're the one that's going to really be here for you. Breathing into your back body. Resting into the awareness that there are many who have come before you, who are guiding the way in a lot of ways, and many who will come after you and will continue the work that you're here to do. And no great creation is complete in one lifetime. So my friends, please relax and have a good time with it. Okay, so Aries season begins on March 20th. This is the vernal equinox. The first 10 days of Aries season, we are feeling the application of Neptune coming into the sign, and that happens on March 30th. Now, Neptune has a 156-year orbit, I think. And so the last time Neptune came into Aries was actually the beginning of the Civil War in the United States. We're not at all in a time now that resonates like it does then. Joking. Okay, so we are in a time of heightened division and conflict, and this is true wherever you are in the world. There's a lot of aggression. There are a lot of people who are feeling really charged about their beliefs, their ideals, their ideas about, how people should be or whatever. And there is also a lot of organizing that's happening. There are a lot of new configurations and connections being formed between people who recognize that they share similar concerns and common aims. Now, if you have found me and you are tuned in with this horoscope, then Cancer, I'm going to just assume that you are a person who really feels in your heart that there should be support for life on Earth in its abundance and diversity. And this includes working on ourselves so that we can work skillfully with one another through the challenges of our distances and our differences. There is a lot of healing and repair that is needed so that we can work together to heal and repair the damage that human beings have done to the Earth. And the damage that we've done to the Earth in large part has come from mind states that are really individualistic, that are very much focused on what I'm going to say is excessive imbalanced Aries energy. Everybody has Aries in their chart. And that excess imbalance of Aries, and Aries, again, lives in the head, in the front of the head, in the me, myself, and I feeling. The excess is greedy, it's hoarding, it's domineering, it is aggressive and oppressive, and it is not thoughtful and does not hold back or temper or regulate itself. It is a total toddler, infantile kind of entitlement vibe. So, how do we work with this energy in the world right now? And how do we work with it in our own bodies and minds and relationships? Many of you are interested in helping this happen, I think. The ruler of Aries, the planet Mars, is currently in your sign, and by the end of Aries season, it will have moved on into Leo, but over the course of Aries season, it is in Cancer. And to me, this says that you are infused with bold, courageous, passionate energy, that you recognize that inside of you, there is a warrior spirit. And you as a warrior are here committed and devoted to protecting what is most fragile, what is most precious. And what is most fragile and precious on this earth but life itself? Life is sensitive. Life needs care. Life needs tending. Life is also tenacious and creative and adaptive and resilient. And life needs movers and shakers who are going to look for the openings and take advantage of opportunities to do things differently, especially when we can do things differently that allow us to care more deeply and take better care of what needs the most tending. Life on earth needs tending. Everything that we eat needs tending. The air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the precious, fragile life forms that we are completely interconnected and interdependent with need our care and tending. And life itself is brilliant, so it doesn't need us to control it. It needs us to collaborate with it. And I feel that a lot of you have this sense of you have some kind of agency, you have some kind of power, you have some kind of clarity, and you want to move from this place to present your vision, your intuition, your sensitivity around the ways of being and listening that you have cultivated throughout your life as a Cancerian. And the world is asking you to move forward with these teachings. So I don't know what this means for you particularly. Take what works, leave the rest. This is a general reading. But any of us at any given time have the opportunity to teach. We are always teaching each other about our own experiences. Now, really good teachers inspire students to want to learn, right? And this is the difference between trying to just hammer someone over the head with information and inviting someone to get curious themselves so that they actually seek the information out. Now, the latter will be much more effective than the former. When we try and impose upon other people, the natural tendency is for other people to kind of shut us out and be like, okay, I don't want whatever you're trying to put on me. When people feel curious and engaged, our neural pathways and synapses light up. We learn a lot more effectively. We tend to be a lot more enthusiastic and joyful about it. And that usually gets other people in on the excitement for it. And so learning then spreads, and enthusiasm can be contagious in that way. And so I have a feeling right now, Cancer, that a lot of you are in roles where you want to teach by example. And the way that you are trying to bring people into new ways of being, new ways of feeling, new ways of sensing, to the awareness of interdependence and the necessity for sensitivity and creative collaboration, a lot of you are doing this by just being that way. And the more that you can be that way, the more people will do it with you. And in order for you to be that way, you have to feel relaxed. You can't be on guard. You can't be defensive and trying to control other people. And so there is this tension in your chart, not just in Aries season, not just in 2025, but as I've mentioned already, for the next 3 to 13 years, there's a kind of tension in your chart that is the tension between ease and stress. And so we need actually a little bit of both. If we're really, really relaxed and easy, we won't do anything. If we're super stressed and like active, we're dangerous. So there's a kind of tensegrity, right, is a word that you may have come across, where there's an alertness and a readiness to respond, but also a relaxation. And this to me feels like the ideal state for you that allows you to be playful. You want to access this kind of state as often as you can. And in the first 10 days of Aries season, I think that a lot of you need to access this state by relaxing your belly, breathing into your back body, kind of like shaking it off, remembering that you don't need to be on guard all of the time. You do want to take your opportunities to relax when and where you can. And then as we move into the first half of April, there's a need for you to clarify your vision. And this might be a period of time that in somatic practice, you could really benefit from doing visualizations and breathing into your third eye, doing actual eye exercises. You can like move your finger back and forth, or you can try and follow it with your eyes, or you can try and focus on details and then take in the whole periphery or something like that. And so when you work with your eyes and the musculature around your eyes, you're working with your nervous system. And when you tap in, tune in with your breath to your third eye, you are bringing energy and awareness into your hypothalamus and pituitary glands. These help regulate your whole endocrine system. And in the first half of April, I think that a lot of you are getting a lot of inspiration, and there are some new ideas and new directions that are starting to clarify for you. Some of you may be making plans for the future. You might be making travel plans. You might be thinking about what next steps are in terms of life plans. Some of you might be really clarifying a sense of personal purpose and integrity around this time. There may be things that you have been studying or that you want to study that are starting to reshape your perspective. And in the first half of April, I think that a lot of you want to bring this inspiration and these ideas into a kind of focus so that you can make moves. On April 12th, we have a full moon in Libra, and on March 29th, we have a new moon in Aries. March 29th's new moon is a solar eclipse, and it is the last eclipse in a series that began in 2023. And the full moon in Libra is not an eclipse, but it is the first lunation after the eclipses. And again, we've been in a series of eclipses since 2023 that have been happening in Aries and Libra. So this is definitely a full moon you want to pay attention to. Libra, like Aries, is a cardinal sign, like Cancer is a cardinal sign. And so both Libra and Aries are very important signs for you to pay attention to. So these lunations are catalyzing, energizing new directions in life for Cancers. For many of you, this is about new career opportunities and moves that you've been making. For some of you, this is about really taking up your power. You might be feeling the need to be a lot more bold, a lot more courageous, a lot more outspoken. Some of you might be engaged in conflict in some way, and others of you might be feeling a need to differentiate, to go your own way, or to start your own thing in some way. And I think all of you, regardless of what stage of life or career you are in, this is a period of time that is asking you to be increasingly centered and steady in your sense of who you are and what you're here for and what you stand for. And that means that people-pleasing tendencies and the ways that you might get enmeshed and entangled because you're trying to take care of everybody's needs actually need to take the back burner. They need to quiet down a little bit. And this period of time between March 29th and April 12th is a period of time that is bringing these feelings so strongly into your consciousness. And so this sense of planning and forward movement needs you to be paying close attention to the ways that your life path has been diverted in the past by inappropriate applications of your energy inside of relationships. This means you are not being honest. It means that you are allowing yourself to be walked on. It means that you are being hyper controlling and helicoptery and all up in other people's business instead of tending to your own business. This means that you are or have been emotionally hijacked by other people's feelings because you're sensitive, and maybe you're sensitive to your perceptions, you know, to the ways that you see or hear or something, whatever people are doing, and then it takes you out of your own experience or something like that. This is a period of time that's asking you to shift those patterns. So if you know the feeling in your body right now of getting off center because you are being pulled by somebody else's energy, now is the time when you need to tell yourself, this is my life. I'm the only one who can make these decisions for myself. If I don't want to lose myself in other people, it's actually up to me to not lose myself. Whatever feelings those other people having, whatever behaviors they're engaging with, that's on them. If you feel like they need to change in order for you to be centered, that's actually not your sovereignty. This is your life. You really need to be making choices right now that protect your own energy. And in the ways that you're protecting your own energy, I don't mean isolating or walling off or totally forgetting about people or being a jerk, because we are interdependent. I mean honesty, clarity, and forthcomingness. I mean the kind of embodied self-love that is required for you to be honest without being weird about it. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes if I'm trying to be honest in a relationship and I'm not really loving myself deeply, then I'm weird about it. And I'm like angry as I say something, or I'm kind of like not straightforward. And then I come across as manipulative or really emo or something like that. That's not the vibe. The vibe is clarity right now. The vibe is you can love yourself and other people can love themselves. And we don't always do what we wish each other would do. And you're not always going to be or do who other people wish you would be or do. And same for them. And that doesn't mean that we have to cut the cords in every single relationship or hate each other or never get along. Actually, the more freedom that we can give each other to be ourselves, the deeper our intimacy and bonds become. So self-actualizing is relational work. And the more that you can love yourself and love others and trust that they can love themselves and take care of themselves as you make the choices that you need to make for yourself, the more liberated our relationships get to become. And this is the feeling that I have for you from new moon to full moon, from March 29th through April 12th. You are really trying to tap in and tune in with your subtle awareness and your deep inner guidance so that you know what you need in your life in general right now. And in particular, there might be relationship issues, particularly around home and family, but also work relationships, and any kind of relationships can fit in here. But there may be relationship issues that really need some attention right now. And the kind of attention I feel that they need is this kind of self-loving, other-loving, affirming attention that isn't always easy, and that really gives the power to ourselves and to each other to rise to the occasion of our own lives. And so Cancers, this is not necessarily going to be easy. And so during this period of time, please hold your chest and belly. Feel the depth of your body between the front and the back of your body. Remind yourself that you can give yourself your own sense of safety. Regardless of all the dangers and threats that are out there in the world, you have power to affirm your own self. You have power to care for and to love your own self, to tend your own feelings. Feel your center, right? That central channel that moves between heaven and earth, right through the center of your body, and tap in with your own dignity. Channel that dignity into your conversations and your connections. And then expand. You're in relationship. You are here as part of a continuous whole. You are in so many relationships. You are in relationships that you don't even know you're in. You're in relationships with invisible beings. You're in relationships with the air, with the sky, with star stuff. You're in relationships with your highest self and your deepest vision. And so whatever might be happening in your human relationships, if it's bringing up feelings of scarcity, of survival, of not enoughness, please try and tap into the width and the breadth of your relationality that includes so much. And as we move into the last week of Aries season, Mercury is going to come back into Aries. Mercury stationed direct back in the first week of April. Mars will be moving into Leo, and that means out of Cancer. We've got a lot of fire energy picking up, and there are some exciting opportunities for Cancers. And these opportunities are going to be different for each of you, but the feeling that I get is that you have energy to invest your resources in ways that are going to grow into something bigger for your life and legacy. Now, your resources definitely could include financial resources, but I'm thinking more about your attention, which is your most valuable resource of all. Your time, your energy, your labor, your care, your love, what you are really nourishing and nurturing in your life needs to be a choice, because what you put your attention towards will grow. And if your attention is being pulled in every which way by everybody and their 5 zillion and 10 passing moods and different needs, I don't know what we're growing. We're like trying to tend a lot of little sprouts. So you want to focus. And I don't know what it is that you're trying to focus on right now, but I feel that it's something that you really care about. It's something that you're energized for. It's something that you feel has a longer kind of legacy or lifetime maybe than you. There may be collaborations that you're working with or things that you're trying to put into motion that could benefit more than just you. And on some level, I think that a lot of you are just purely trying to invest in yourself right now. And I mean that in the biggest sense of the word. I mean that you are trying to invest in your sense of spirit, in your sense of purpose, in your authenticity, and in giving your biggest, deepest gifts. And that means that you are really taking responsibility for your energy, for your investments, for your attention. So Cancer, I hope that this breath, this body, these messages, and these awarenesses serve and support you throughout this work. If this resonates for you, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Embodied Astrology. One of the best ways you can support this work is to share it. And so if you have any friends who you think might appreciate these readings, please send them on. Your donations are so appreciated, and they definitely support the continued offering of these free readings every single month. Cancer, I hope you will join me on March 22nd for a special conversation with my colleague and fellow astrologer, Laura Chung. Laura researches revolutions with astrology, and she is going to be joining us at Embodied Astrology for a really special evening where we're going to talk about her research, what she's found about the astrology of revolutions in the past, and how the current astrological weather patterns are inviting some revolutionary, evolutionary kind of times right now. I think that a lot of you would really appreciate this conversation because this sense of dynamic leadership is coming through so strongly in the Cancer charts. I think many of you are organizing, you are activating, you are investing yourselves in projects and happenings that are very evolutionary and revolutionary, and this would be a great way to support that with astrology. Lots more is happening throughout the month at Embodied Astrology. If you like the way that I read astrology, you can catch me every Monday on Zoom from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific in Somatic Space. We work with the astrology of the week ahead through felt sense, guided meditation, embodiment, and visualization. It is really fun. It always leaves me feeling pretty good and gives me a lot to work with throughout the week. Once a month, I host a deep dive conversation called Astrology Tea Time. Embodied Astrology is also a virtual learning community. We have study groups and community spaces that are perfect for embodied awareness and astro nerding combined. And so if you want to get creative, you want to get playful and fun with the ways that you explore and experiment with astrology, so do we. Check us out. All the links are in the show notes below, or you can find us at embodiedastrology.com. Cancer, I'm wishing you all the best in Aries season and beyond. Bye for now.